I was always going to go to KU from the moment I was born. My mother and father both graduated from KU, and I grew up, when they'd have friends over, they'd say, "Where are you going to school?" And I would say I was going to the U Sovereignty of Kansas. I couldn't even say it, and I was already going there.
Sue Watson grew up in Russell, and some of her earliest memories were attending KU football games. She came to KU in 1971 as a freshman.
I came the year after the Union burned, so it was a different time. It was a radical time. There were a lot of streakers, there were a lot of sit-ins outside of Strong Hall, and I was going around kind of a wide-eyed freshman.
As a student, Watson lived in the Chi Omega sorority and majored in special education. She also dated Kurt Watson, who would become her husband and lifelong partner in supporting KU.
We recognized how wonderful it was, and now we'd like to give back. We'd like to make opportunities for students to have wonderful experiences while they're at KU, and then in turn they will grow up and pass it forward to the next person.
In many ways, Watson has been a face of KU in the Wichita area since she and Kurt moved there in 1981. She has chaired the Wichita chapter board for the KU Alumni Association, served on the 4 Wichita School of Medicine board, and helped found the Jayhawk Roundup, the premier KU event in South Central Kansas.
When we had the opportunity to really start an event here, the Roundup, Sue was at the ground floor of that, and maybe more than anybody that was involved in the early days of organizing that, Sue remains involved and continues to work on the theme, work on selling tables, the fundraising part of it, and she just seems to have an enormous appetite for that event.
But her efforts on behalf of KU are not limited to the Wichita area. Watson served on the KU Alumni Association Board of Directors and was elected to a 1-year term as chair.
I have met the kindest, most fun-loving, intelligent, bright, caring Jayhawks ever on the KU Alumni Board of Directors. We've had more fun than you can imagine, but there have also been some great initiatives out of that, like the Jayhawk Generation Scholarship that was developed. We've gotten heavily involved in student recruitment. I think the Alumni Association has become very forward-thinking in looking at our university and seeing ways that we can help make it better. And I think we've become a very strong voice for KU.
Currently, Sue and Kurt Watson are serving as co-chairs of the Far Above Capital campaign for KU Endowment, taking on a $1 billion challenge during a difficult economy.
She's a kind of leader that leads, but she's still in the trenches. I mean, she's always there with enthusiasm, but leading and doing a lot of the work herself.
They can be very serious, and they can articulate very clearly why it's important to do certain things that are supportive of KU, but ultimately they're just really fun to be with. With either Kurt or Sue, I can just as easily be talking about the campaign or talking about the Missouri basketball game last year. They are total KU people through and through.
I remember taking our daughter Kelly back when she was enrolled to become a freshman, and I remember thinking, oh, I would love to be doing this all over again. I wish I could do it one more time because it was such a great time in my life.
I think she's a shining star for KU, and probably one of the most outstanding alumni volunteers we've ever had come out of the whole system. So I don't know how to praise without being so dramatic, but she's truly an outstanding woman.